for you. Today has definitely been a very interesting day. It has been one of those days where we started off very, very warm. In fact, our high was really around 76 degrees. So we started off very, very warm, and now we are looking at very cold weather. Let's start with our satellite and radar. There's a lot to unpack, not only from today, but even as we were going throughout the rest of this week. So here's looking at our current satellite and radar. It is mostly dry, very calm out there right now. In fact, temperatures are still very cold. We are seeing temperatures actually dropping. We are tracking this because it's Arctic air coming in all the way from the North Pole. That's how far up this cold blast is stretching. Some people already seeing some of that snowfall. We're not seeing any of it here in Metro Atlanta. In fact, I will pull our satellite and radar down so you can see some of those snow showers that are really developing across really the Northeast. We are not dealing with that. We're not dealing with any rain. However, our temperatures are so cool that some of us could be seeing some snow flurries. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in the North Georgia mountains, there's maybe a winter weather advisory issued a little bit later on. Here's a look into our Midtown camera. You can see the cloud cover. It has built in over the last few hours or so. So it's mostly cloudy. But here, that is the big weather story. 48 degrees, and it feels like 40 outside. It is very cold right now. This is in Metro Atlanta. When we take a look at our temperatures in North Georgia mountains, it's 39 degrees currently in Clayton, 40 degrees in Blairsville, around 45 degrees in Gainesville. This is also part of the big weather story. Our 24-hour temperature change. Yesterday, yes, we were fighting some rain showers, but it was still very warm. Our temperatures were still into the 70s. So we're 18 degrees colder right here in Metro Atlanta, 18 degrees colder in Gainesville. Canton is 20 degrees colder, and you can start to see that temperature and really where that Arctic air is just kind of filling in. The color gradient kind of shifts from a green and yellow to a light blue to a purple. And that trend is also kind of increasing as we take a look at our wind gusts. That's fueling that wind chill. When we talk about the wind chill, that has to do with our gusts and how cold it's making us feel. So Metro Atlanta, recently we recorded a 38-mile-an-hour wind gust, and in Duluth, a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Covington, 31. Peachtree City, 33. So it is definitely very gusty outside. When you take a look into our Blue Ridge camera, you saw that flag blowing there just a few seconds ago. Give it a second. It will start blowing again right on time for Veterans Day. Veterans Day is going to be a very cold start for sure. This cold isn't just going to abruptly end. You need to be prepared as you go throughout your Tuesday morning. Here's a look at our low temperatures for your Monday. We talk about low temperatures. This is what it's going to be when you wake up tomorrow morning. Usually around this year, we should be waking up with temperatures near 46, but it's going to be around 32 here in Metro Atlanta, 23 in Blairsville, 32 in Gainesville, and around 28 in Canton. Once again, these are your actual temperatures. This is not factoring in the wind chill and what it's going to feel like. This is also a very big part of our weather story. This is why we have that freeze warning in effect and a freeze watch in effect as well for your Monday going into your Tuesday. We're not going to warm up very much at all throughout the day on Monday. In fact, you have a really good chance to stay into the upper 30s. And when you factor in the wind gusts, it probably won't be feeling more like 29 degrees at best. Let's time out the day. What can you expect hour by hour? Here's a look at the overnight hours. Like I said, some of that moisture trying to sneak in from the north that could prompt a few mountain flurries, but we're not expecting any huge impacts by any means. Here in Metro Atlanta, we're still going to see those temperatures continuing to dip. It's already 48 degrees outside right now, and you saw that big temperature drop. Our temperatures will continue to drop over the next few hours, so we're not quite done with getting that cold air in. Monday at 6 a.m., kids have to go to school. Temperatures will be near 31, and then even as we continue to advance it by lunchtime on Monday, you can see those arrows. Those are those tight wind gusts that will be coming in Monday at lunchtime, around 37 degrees, and then even Monday evening as everyone's on their way home, it's going to be another cold wrap up to our Monday. Now, as we head into the overnight hours on Monday, those temperatures will be staying into really the low 30s, maybe some of us staying into the 20s, really into North Georgia. I don't even really want to keep saying the North Georgia mountains because even as far north as Kennesaw, Ackworth, you all will also be into the 20s. So it's not going to be very warm, even just regular North Georgia. We're not even just talking about into the mountains. So we're definitely going to continue to watch these temperatures. And also, this is very big. I always say that during the summer, we talk about what it's going to feel like when you factor in humidity. Well, during the winter, it's still the same. We factor in what it's going to be when we factor in the wind gusts and the wind chill. So it could feel like 28 degrees overnight tonight. And you can see when we start to look at this purple, you can definitely tell that it gets very, very chilly. Monday morning at 6 a.m., once again, you're taking the kids to school. Maybe you have an early start with your job. It could feel like the teens in the North Georgia mountains. This is what I was telling you. Even in just regular North Georgia, Canton, Marietta is considered Metro Atlanta, feeling like 19 at 6 a.m., feeling like 18 in Carrollton. And then even as we go into the evening hours, it does not warm up very much throughout the day. We'll have plenty of sunshine throughout the day. It'll be more like partly cloudy, but the sunshine is just not going to be warming us up at all. Tuesday at 3 a.m. overnight, definitely still staying cold. There is a freeze warning in effect. This is from 1 a.m. tonight until 10 a.m. Monday morning. This means that those temperatures are going to be below that 32-degree mark. So if you do have any sensitive vegetation that you can bring in, do that. But most importantly, we're talking about your pipes. You want to drip your pipes, open your cabinets. You want to bring in your pets if you can. You want to check on people, any neighbors that you know that are elderly. Maybe they don't have a good heating system. Make sure that they are taken care of during this time. The cold will be continuing through your Tuesday morning. And because of that, we have heard of several warming centers. This is why I was telling you about taking care of your people. It's not just making sure your plants are okay, but we want to make sure that our human life is okay as well. So make sure that you check on these warming centers. These are two that were open from the city of Atlanta, Central Park Rec Center and the old Adamsville Rec Center. Those were just opened. This is going to be for your Tuesday as well. We have a full list on 11live.com. We're starting to see more emergency managers send us information about warming centers. So just because yours are not in the city of Atlanta, there are other ones around Metro Atlanta that are open. Now, there is a freeze watch in effect for your Tuesday as well. This will start on Monday at 7 p.m. and go through Tuesday morning. So that lets us know that the National Weather Service meteorologists and us, we're all on the same page that this cold will be sticking around. So when we look at Tuesday morning, this is looking at your feels like forecast for your Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Feeling like 23 degrees here in Metro Atlanta. Feeling like 16 in Blairsville, 15 in Clayton. So it's just going to be very cold. And then by Tuesday evening, we start to see some of those winds die down just a little bit. You can see that blue turning into green. That means that things will start to feel a little bit better outside. So Tuesday around 4 p.m. feeling more like 45 degrees. And yes, it's still going to be cold Wednesday, but you have to remember these temperatures are going to start going back to where we should be for this time of the year. And if you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't think it's supposed to be this cold this early, you are right. Our average first frost is usually around November the 4th. Today is just November the 9th. So that puts it in perspective that we are definitely supposed to be in between that first frost and the average first freeze. First freeze, yes, but this is going to be our first hard freeze, and we usually see that around December the 8th. So we still are getting into this just a little bit early for the season, but I cannot say this enough. I am very thankful that it's just cold air that we're looking at, and we're not looking at any of that snow that people further north are dealing with. Now, as far as rainfall is concerned, let's put our forecast track into motion. We should be staying dry from now all the way until next weekend. Then we'll be tracking our next big weather maker. It does look like we could be seeing some rain showers, maybe a few thunderstorms developing for Sunday specifically, and then we start to dry out as we head into Monday. But here's like that 7-day forecast for you. Monday, tomorrow, and Tuesday morning, there's a weather impact alert in place because of that cold air that's coming in and these cold temperatures. Now, as we head into the rest of the week, once we get through Tuesday afternoon, we're really going to start to see these temperatures rebounding back into the 60s. By Thursday, we're going to be back near our average of around 66 degrees, and then back into the 70s as we wrap up the rest of the work weekend into your weekend. Now, on Sunday, we will be tracking some rain showers. That's why we take a little bit of a dip into the 70s. But hey, day. This is one thing we want to make sure that you know. Make sure you're staying on top of the forecast all the time. This cold air can definitely change. You want to make sure that you have the latest. Go ahead and download our 11 Alive app. Join our 11 Alive Weather Impact Facebook group so you can stay on top of what's going on and you can stay in the know. We like for you to know what's happening, and we always are on streaming. So make sure you download our 11 Alive app on all of your smart TVs. It's free. You can watch all of our newscasts. You can watch our 24/7 weather stream that constantly has radar loops and different weather information for you to know. Once again, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss. I will be on giving you your latest forecast tonight after the Steelers game on NBC 11 Alive. I will see you there. Beat me there. Don't beat me there.